I'll just read you a short little section. This is at the end of the necropsy, at the beginning of the book, the very beginning. What's going on is that they have managed to separate this big male anthropophagy from his female victim. And they've done the dissection work on him. What the doctor does in that scene is remove vital organs for later study. Monstrumology is a very serious science, by the way. I mean, he takes it very seriously. And so now he's examining the actual victim. I lost my place. Oh, here we go. I'm just going to read just the end of chapter 1 here. This is Will Henry, of course, talking. Dr. Warthrop pressed the end of his stethoscope upon her belly and listened intently as he slowly moved the instrument toward her chest, then down again, across her belly button, until back where he began he paused, eyes closed, barely breathing. He remained frozen this way for several seconds. The silence was thundering. Finally, he tugged the scope from his ears. As I suspected, he gestured toward the work table. An empty jar, Will Henry, one of the big ones. He directed me to remove the lid and place the open container on the floor beside him. Hold on to the lid, Will Henry, he instructed. We must be quick about this. Scalpel. He bent to his work. Shall I confess that I looked away? That I could not will my eyes to remain upon that glittering blade as it sliced into her flawless flesh? For all my desire to please and impress him with my steely resolve as a good foot soldier in the service of science, nothing could bring me to watch what came next. They are not natural scavengers, he said. Anthropophagy prefer fresh kill, but there are drives even more powerful than hunger, Will Henry. The female can breed, but she cannot bear. She lacks a womb, you see, for that location of her anatomy is given to another more vital organ, her brain. Here, take the scalpel. I heard a soft squish as he plunged his fist into the incision. His right shoulder rotated as his fingers explored inside the young girl's torso. But nature is ingenious, Will Henry, and marvelously implacable. The fertilized egg is expelled into her mate's mouth, where it rests in a pouch located along his lower jaw. He has 2 months to find a host for their offspring before the fetus bursts from its protective sac, and he swallows it or chokes upon it. Ah, this must be it. Ready now with the lid. His body tensed, and all became still for a moment. Then, with a single dramatic flourish, he yanked from the split-open stomach a squirming mass of flesh and teeth. A doll-sized version of the beast curled about the girl, encased in a milky white sack that burst open as the thing inside fought against the doctor's grasp, spewing a foul-smelling liquid that soaked his coat and splattered around his rubber boots. He nearly dropped it, holding it against his chest while it twisted and flailed its tiny arms and legs, its mouth armed with tiny razor-sharp teeth snapping and spitting. The jar, he cried. I slid it toward his feet. He dropped the thing into the container. I did not need his urging to slap on the lid. Screw it tight, Will Henry, he gasped. He was covered head to toe in the blood-flecked goop, the smell of it more pungent than that of the rotting flesh upon the table. The tiny anthropophagist flipped and smacked inside the jar, smearing the glass with amniotic fluid, clawing at its prison with needle-sized fingernails, mouth working furiously in the middle of its chest, like a landed fish gasping upon the shore. Its mewling cries of shock and pain were loud enough to penetrate the thick glass, a haunting, inhuman sound that I am doomed to remember to my last day. Dr. Warthrop picked up the jar and placed it on the workbench. He soaked some cotton in a mixture of hathylane and alcohol, dropped it into the jar, and screwed the lid back on. The infant monster attacked the cotton, stripped the fibers apart with its little teeth, and swallowed chunks of it whole. Its aggression hastened the effects of the euthanizing agent. In less than 5 minutes, the unholy spawn was dead.